from Sailor Moon. I have Draculaura. I have Coco Bell to show you from Peter Pan and the Pirates. I have Jimmy Neutron to show you. And Zatch Bell
Ooh.
to show you. I think I have. Oh, I can show you one more thing. I have to stand up on my chair to get it. Hope I don't fall on rollers. Hold on. Oh, oh, oh.
Please, don't fall, don't fall.
Hey! Who the heck are you?
I'm Loopy! I'm Loopy!
What are you doing? That thing's dangerous! Give me that! How did you get in my lab anyway?
Ha! Your lab! Sorry, dude. I got dibs on this place.
What's wishing gonna do? Jimmy Neutron, boy genius.
Timmy Turner! Boy!
Thanks for saving my dog.
Thanks for saving my,
Fairy programs?
Sure, fairy programs! Sorry I was such a jerk.
No problem. We geniuses have to stick together.
Before we get started, I just want to allow my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. Basically, tell everybody what you do, where you're from, and also share with us your top 2 favorite childhood cartoons and why.
Hi there. Happy to be here today. I am Debi Derryberry. I'm a cartoon voice. I'm known mostly for Jimmy Neutron and Draculaura and some other cartoons that I'll share with you. My favorite cartoons growing up were whatever my brother wanted to watch because I had a big brother and he had control of the remote. So I'll tell you what his favorite cartoons were. The Roadrunner and Bugs Bunny.
Oh, okay. Is that what sparked your interest in voice acting?
Not at all. I didn't know anything about voice acting until I graduated UCLA as a pre-med. I'm a singer. I always have been writing songs and playing guitar and in bands and just enjoying music and harmonies. And I always sounded like a little squeaky kid. So when I moved to Nashville, to do country music, I found out about voiceover, moved back to Los Angeles to pursue voiceover because I've, been an actor my whole life and I've had microphone training my whole life. So that kind of all came together with my voice. And when I started auditioning for cartoons, I started booking them, but I didn't know voiceover was a thing until someone said, "Hey, Debbie, you should try voiceover." And I'm like, what is that? I thought the cartoons just talked for themselves. And I thought Fred Flintstone just talked for him.
I'm sort of with you. For a while, for the longest, I never even really paid attention to the voices behind my favorite cartoon characters because I usually just paid attention to the story. And then after a while, until I actually started doing these interviews and talking to people, I started to really get more of appreciation for voice acting and stuff like that. And now I feel like I'm sort of to the point where I can kind of distinguish people's voices. Like, I know who that is. That's that. You know what I mean? It started getting better. But for my 2 favorite cartoons, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I didn't put Jimmy Neutron on my list because I just didn't want to say it. I felt like, but it is one of my favorite cartoons of all time. For my first favorite cartoon, I chose Teen Titans from Cartoon Network. I thought that was an amazing show.
Get out.
It's amazing. I love the action and everything. I'm not so much a fan of Go, more of the original version of the show. For my second favorite, I had to choose a Nickelodeon original, Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold to me is an amazing. I think it kind of similar to Jimmy Neutron, where you have 2 characters with oddly shaped heads. You know what I mean? But they're amazing people and have great friends and friendships around them and will do anything to help people. And also, I like the fact that Hey Arnold incorporates a lot of jazz music into the show.
Okay, you like jazz music?
Oh, I love jazz music. You said that you also went to Nashville to work on country music. So is that something you still do or are still interested in? Or
I do. I write children's music and I produce a lot of music videos for my kids' YouTube channel called Debi Derryberry Kids. If you could type it up there.
Okay.
Tell your editor, get a logo from the kids' YouTube channel. I'll send it to you, and you can pop it up there.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Oh,
What were we talking about? Oh, so Nashville and country music. Yeah, I moved there because I love it, and I still do country music. I have a 3-part harmony female band, and all of us female singers, our husbands are in the band. It's called Honey Pig, and we are at Honey Pig Music on Insta. And I think we have a YouTube page also. But yeah, we play around town here in Los Angeles, and that's my fun thing. That's what I love, is kids music, writing it, producing it, making music videos of it, and my country band.
so do you do covers, or do you actually write music for the country band too?
Both. I have a lot of my original country music and or original songs. I don't want to say they're all country because they're not.
Okay.
They're easy listening folk country. They're just great songs, I think. And we do a lot of covers, but we pigify them. Our band is called Honey Pig, so we pigify the songs.
That's pretty cool. So do y'all do a lot of country fairs or restaurants, or do y'all do like a lot of venues, big venues, or?
No, we're all so busy because the people in the band are Andrew Russell, Brenna Larson, Stephanie Sutherland, and me. And my husband plays bass, and he's not in the business, thank goodness. And Stephanie's husband, Aaron, is a main engineer at Warner Brothers. It's hard to get out of town, so we play at a little brewery called the Lawless Brewery here in North Hollywood. Sometimes we play other places, but mostly it's just really part of our heart to get together and sing and
Just
play.
to do something for fun, I can understand that.
You love it.
All right, now let's kind of switch gears for a bit. For my next segment, we kind of talk about what we've recently been watching or playing, or where we've recently visited, just anywhere interesting or anything that you would like to recommend for people to do. Is there
Go, you mean?
Yep.
Okay. Let me think about that.
For me, recently, I just started a new TV show called 1,000-Pound Sisters. I will say this show is amazing. I like the fact that it talks about two sisters basically coming together and trying to lose weight, and then you get to see their family dynamic between the story, and also that as being a reality show, you also get to see the elements of the real world within the storyline.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It's funny. I know some episodes, there's a lot of drama to it, but I feel like that's more or less, the whole reality TV show aspect of it. But I feel like for the show to be based in Kentucky, which is almost like, I say, an hour away from me, which is pretty cool to me to think that a show is actually being filmed right there. But for it to be right there and actually be able to be like, I've seen people like this before, you know what I mean? So I think that's a good show.
My shows that I'm watching.
Okay.
Well, we sit down at like 6:30 every night and just like binge everything because I'm in bed by 8:30 or 9 because I'm up at 5:30 ish. So we kind of watch everything there is out there. We finished The Diplomat, up to date on Hacks and up to date on White Lotus, and we watch movies, and we just love everything. Right now we're watching Versailles, a lot of historical funny dramas or whatever. We binge everything. There's some shows that I try that people say you should watch this, and I try. We give it about 20 minutes, and if we don't like it, we're up.
Oh, you don't even give it an episode? 20 minutes?
Well, we try for an episode, but sometimes we just can't get through it. But we travel a lot. When I say we, my husband and I do a lot of conventions. I'm doing at least one convention a month. So we're getting ready to pop over to England to do a Comic-Con in London.
Wow, that's amazing.
Come back and we head down to Anaheim, where Disneyland is, to do a convention down in Anaheim. And then we have another convention. We're going to Savannah, Georgia, and then we have one in Connecticut, and then have one in Indiana. So I'm booked like all year, and I do TikToks. I don't know if you're a follower on my TikTok. I have like 1.3 million followers, which is great. And I always announce on there where I'm going to be. So a lot of our time is spent planning for the travel and staying in shape because it's exhausting to travel. So we're in the swimming pool in the backyard here in California. Every morning I swim. I ride my exercycle for 20 minutes every other day. And we do Pilates 3 to 4 times a week. We do some weightlifting. We walk the dogs twice a day. We do a lot of activity because as you get older, if you're not in good shape, it catches up with you, and every pound you're overweight is 7 pounds on my knees. So
Ooh, I didn't know that.
if
Okay.
you don't have good knees, like I have a bad knee, so there's no getting overweight here because that would hurt my knee too much.
And I understand that about getting on planes and stuff because I just recently took a visit to Rhode Island, and that was the first plane I ever been on. Because truly, I've always been just a little bit afraid. I always felt like it's something I don't have any control in. I don't know what could happen, but that was my first trip, and I will say it was cool when we were in the air and everything. The landings were a little rough, but we survived. The only process I didn't like was the we're supposed to be there at 8, but it gets postponed to 11. It seemed like we got a lot of delays, and that was the one thing I wasn't prepared for, and I didn't realize happens a lot. But other than that,
you have to, if you travel a lot, you want to either bring a book, but we read so many books that I have a Kindle, and we have books stacked up on our Kindle so we can watch them in the airport, and we have, our points, and we're members of all the airlines, so we can go in their lounges if we are there early enough, or if there's a delay. You have to enjoy airports because we spend a lot of times in airports, and you want to make sure you have a good jacket and a good pair of walking shoes.
Because one thing that I did have that helped me out was the fact that I downloaded all the Harry Potter movies the night before, so I didn't literally have to waste any of my data trying to watch them while I was at the thing. So that was pretty good.
Good, yeah. Flying it's an art, and we do so much. We are TSA pre, so we pay our $100 every 5 years, and we can just go right through, and we have global entry. So now when you come in from a different country, you just basically go in the global entry line, and the camera takes your picture and says, "Welcome, Debbie," and you walk right in. You don't even have to do customs or anything.
Oh, okay. So did y'all have to get those real IDs? Because I know that was something they've been talking about recently about trying to travel. Okay.
You need your real ID by yesterday, 2 days ago. So if you want to travel, or your passport, but it's pretty much safer to have your real ID because you never know if somebody across the country is going to say, "Hey, come visit me," and your passport's expired, and you got to go and they're cracking down. And you think 3-hour wait is long. It's going to be longer if they have to research you if you don't have your real ID. It's easy. You just make an appointment on the DMV, or sometimes you don't even have to do anything at all. But I think I did mine online.
That's something I need to look into myself because I do have a regular ID because I didn't really even know that it was you had to have it at a certain time until just recently that now you can't get on airplanes. But I heard that they still got some things you can do to still kind of do it, but now it's a longer process because I heard the first day they implemented this, it was a lot of wait times. So
they were pretty. If you listen to the news, we listen to NPR and BBC twice a day, and
they've been saying it for a while.
Yeah. And so May 7th was the day. You got to stay on top of this stuff if you're a traveler. If you're not a traveler, well, now you know.
That's something I'm about to try to start doing a lot more of because I hear when you start to get older, seeing more things and getting a little bit more culture within you is what you want to do. It's not a point of spending money on stuff that doesn't really have value. You know what I mean?
I like to travel. Some people are fine where they are. Me and my husband love to travel. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I love it.
Personally, for myself, I just want to see how other different regions of the world do the same things we do. You know what I mean?
I totally do. Yeah.
But moving right on into our interview, for my first question I want to ask you is what was the main reason that got you into voice acting? And were you scared to try it at first?
No, I wasn't scared to try it at first.
Okay.
The main reason, um, well, I wanted to work. I love performing, and I love to be able to make a living doing what I love. And somebody in Nashville said, "Hey, Debbie, you should try voiceover. Here's a couple people in Los Angeles, which is my home, that cast cartoon voices." So
Mhm.
I made a little cassette, if you remember cassette reels,
Yeah.
my voices, a few different spots, and I sent them physical cassettes because we didn't have computers then. And one of the couple of the casting directors got back with me and said, "Cute voice, but you have to live in Los Angeles again." Or so I moved back to Los Angeles, and one of the casting directors walked me into an agent, and I was at that agency for like, I don't know, 17 years. And then I've been at a few other agencies, but you go in. Back then you didn't have your home booth. Back then you went into the agency and you auditioned in their studio, and they edited it and sent it in for you to the producers. And I
Okay.
started booking things right away. After 3 weeks I started booking, and that was 35 years ago, Raysean. I've just been booking ever since. So it was a positive for me. And I still do a little on camera here and then, here and there. And I do a lot of things. I teach voiceover. Um, I do my social media. I do conventions and sign autographs and meet people. And I just do a lot. I'm always doing something. I'm very busy.
So did you have any did you actually train in acting before getting into voice acting?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
doing stage. I started my first community theater when I was 7 years old, and I
Okay.
continued in theater through high school, and then I had some training in college as well, more acting training, and then I did like the School of Hard Knocks where I learned as I went, and I still take classes. I take voice classes with other professional voice actors, and I've taken on camera classes, improv classes. It's something like you always can learn. You know,
Mhm.
um, back when I started, there wasn't really voiceover classes. There wasn't somebody to tell you how to do it, and now I I want to show people how. So I wrote a book actually called Voiceover 101: How to Succeed as a Voice Actor, and this is the second edition. You can get it on Amazon. I also just did
Okay.
the Audible version, the Kindle version. So you can get that if you want to know how to get into voiceover. I put everything I know here. I still teach people. And as the voiceover business evolved, we had to start wearing more hats. We had to learn how to build a booth at home, how to record. I'm pointing to my booth. That door right there is my recording booth. We had to learn how to edit the records, how to send them, what equipment you needed, what microphones you needed. Um,
Mhm.
we had to navigate Zoom and navigate using uh, Source Connect. And there's just a lot of stuff we had to learn how to do now from home. And I like to share that with people. And sometimes when you look at, a voice artist, you're like, oh, that's such a glamorous job, like an acting on camera job. So glamorous. It's hard work.
Yeah.
I'm here in the station most of the day doing things for voiceover. It's all day, every day for me. So if you want to do voiceover part-time, you might get part-time work. But it's however much energy you're going to put into something, that's what you're going to get out.
Okay. Something I've learned just talking to different voice actors is that the voice acting industry is ever evolving. So, do you plan to keep your book updated, like keep doing different editions and stuff like that?
Yes, in fact,
Okay.
this is the second edition, which I had to write after COVID because things changed so much. And I will continue updating it when there's changes. Right now, feels like things as far as the day-to-day grind are kind of stable, but there's, more information that people will need to be aware of, like AI. How do you protect yourself?
Okay.
What contracts do you want to work? Is it important to join the union? Is it what happens if you work a non-union job? Can they steal your voice, etc.? So that is ever evolving. Yes, new information all the time.
And what's your thoughts about AI?
Well, Raysean, it's here. Nobody
Yeah.
can say it's not going away. So what we as actors in the Screen Actors Guild can do is protect ourselves in the contracts so that the producers cannot say, oh, she recorded our voice. Now we can just take that voice print and use it in more video games and don't need to talk to her anymore and don't need to hire her. So we need to protect ourselves against those things. This is why we've been on a video game strike for well into a year more. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Wow. Okay.
But AI is here and it's going to change a lot of things, just like the car. When we had cell phones, it started changing a lot of things. We don't use answering machines anymore. So for answering machine business, there's no use for them anymore. So for things like, I don't know, a narration maybe, or some commercials, producers will choose to use AI voice. And for animation or anime or looping or background voices, I'm sure they will find a way to use AI voices for that. So our business will continue to change. A lot of our fans prefer the melody of a real person, the nuances that a real person brings to it. So there will always be work for us, but it is a changing platform for sure.
See, that's one thing I've always thought about. Like, is there a way for it to be able to be integrated in a way where voice actors still can be able to come in and do their jobs and they're not really being limited? And when I personally think about it, and I think about shows such as like Pokemon, and you have like the Pokemon characters, like the creature monsters actually talking, like Pika Pika, I'm like, I could see AI doing that, or some of those background Walla, I could see maybe doing that. But I feel like for the actual characters in the show, that's when you actually need to get a person to actually do that, because I feel like AI hasn't gotten to the point to where they can really show emotions, which I hope they don't get there, but you never know how fast everything is evolving. To the point to sometimes you hear clips on Twitter, you don't even know if this is actually the person speaking or not. So that's the scary thing. And I feel for you voice actors, because just imagine just hearing something and you like, did I ever record for this? like what is this? This is that.
So it's definitely changing. Speaking of Pokemon, I'm now a character on the cartoon Pokemon Horizons. I voice character Poppy, and that is fun. It's an anime show, which means we go in and we dub what's already been done in Japanese.
And this is the new generation of Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm a huge fan of the older generation of Pokemon. I just recently got into the new generation, and I think they is actually episodes still coming out from the season that's still going on. So that's something I need to personally get back on and keep up with. But for my next question, I want to ask you is, I wanted to ask you about your experience working on the TV show Jimmy Neutron. How did you get the role, and what was the audition process like? And I told you earlier that I rewatched the movie, so.
Yes, well, we audition for a lot of things. We never know if that thing is going to go big or not, so it wasn't a big deal. It was just another audition, and that was back in the day when we didn't have home booths. So I drove to Bell Sound, I think it was in Hollywood, and I signed in on the paper with my pen, and I went in and did my audition, and I knew that there's a lot of voiceover women who have a lot of texture in their voice, like gravel.
Oh boy, like this. Yeah.
Well, I can't do that. So I did my version of a boy, which doesn't have any texture in it. And then he turned into Jimmy Neutron, kind of sideways. And they picked me, and it was called Johnny Quasar, not Jimmy Neutron. We made some interstitials, which are these little 10-minute shorts. This is my fingers showing you a VHS cassette. That's what they were on when they sent them to me. And I said, those look pretty cute. Those are cool because they're, the first CGI cartoon.
Mhm.
And so we don't think much about these things, Raysean, because we do it all the time, and we hope that it'll do well. And so when they called and said, guess what, we're going to do a movie, I was excited. Yeah, but you never know how the movie's going to do. But then the movie did well. It got nominated for an Oscar. And then they were in a cartoon series, and then another season, and then it was popular. And now, 24 years later, it is one of when I'm at conventions, it's one of the main things people want to come and meet me for is Jimmy Neutron. In fact, they just came out with a second Funko Pop. So now
Wow, that's amazing.
there's 2 Jimmy Neutron Funko Pops, and I have some of the older toys and the plush. I got all kinds of Jimmy Neutron toys. So that's what the audition process was like, and the crew, the cast that they put together happened to be this stellar, hilarious cast. I was the straight man. I mean, Jeff Garcia, Rob Paulson, Mark DiCarlo, Megan Cavanaugh, they are hilarious. But I think me and Carolyn Lawrence, who does Cindy Vortex, we're just the straight people. And you need that. You need that combination to make something pop and fly. And I think Jimmy Neutron did. It was a really good one.
Yes, it's an amazing show. It's one of the first shows that I realized was all 3D animation.
And fingers crossed, Nickelodeon, I hope will bring it back one day, because we're not dead yet, and it's a great cartoon, and I'm hoping it will come back. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, and it's one of those things you're surprised about for some of the shows that do get a chance to come back, that Jimmy Neutron still hasn't been able to get a chance to come back. Like, come on, the show was amazing. Like, I don't know even why it really can't went off, because I think what really made me a fan of Jimmy Neutron is when they made those cross episodes, when you did the Jimmy Neutron with Timmy Turner, the Fairly Odd Parent episodes, because to me that was another history making thing, because that was the first time I ever seen 2 characters from 2 different TV shows interact. Like, how was that experience for you?
Another day at work. It was fine. I mean, Tara lives down the street. She did at the time, and her boys played with my boy, and she went to work. Got in the studio, did it. We read the script, we do our best, and then you see how it does. It did well.
Okay.
I mean, I can't say I went in and it was crazy. It was amazing. It was a fun time, but it's work, and you go in and you focus and you do the best job you can as a voice actor.
So how long do you think it took you to actually be able to be like, okay, I think I have Jimmy Neutron's voice. I know who he is as a character. I don't really need much guidance. I can just tell me what's going on and I can do it.
Immediately. I mean, once I found his character, I mean, of course the writers evolved and the relationships evolved as the season went on. And the writers came up with different funny things, and the producers would think of more things. But I think it was pretty seamless for me to fall into that character.
Do you have any favorite moments from either the movie or the TV show?
Why don't I ask you your favorite moments from 25 years ago?
that I understand.
No, I will tell you a couple pretty great things. Was I loved recording with Tim Curry. I also worked with Tim Curry in Peter Pan and the Pirates. I was the voice of Tinker Bell, and he was the voice of Captain Hook. Peter Pan. So it was fun working with Tim again. I loved working with Mel Brooks, Santa Claus. We just had a lot of fun, and now I'm still having fun at conventions, meeting all the fans.
Okay. For my next question, I want to ask you, do you think there's any misconceptions about voice acting?
I do think there's misconceptions about voice acting. I think people think it's glamorous, and it is not. It is hard work. It's a business. Like anything, if you're a realtor or if you're a salesman or if whatever you are, you need to promote yourself and do your best job at auditioning. So I audition probably 40 auditions a week, and I might book 1 out of every 200 auditions. Each audition takes between 5 minutes and 30 minutes. So it's it's a lot of work. It's not glamorous, and I think that's the misconception. And I think there might also be a misconception that we all watch every episode of what we've done, and
Mhm.
we don't. I don't. I mean, I have people coming to my table at the convention saying, "Remember this video game? You were in it 30 years ago." Well, when we go into a job, it takes anywhere from 10 minutes to 4 hours, and then we're done with it, and we don't see it again. And because remember, when they cast you, they may have some episodes written, but by the time you record it, then it goes to animation. That takes 6 months to animate the thing, or maybe less. Now it's probably less now. But it used to be they'd have to send it overseas, wait for things to come back. And by the time you record it, it might be 3 months before it's aired on TV. Who knows how it's going to do? So I don't know what the question was, but we don't really remember. At least I don't remember every single episode I've done.
The question was about misconceptions, but I truly understand what you're saying because I've done a lot of interviews with a lot of Naruto actors from the original series, and it'd be moments when I'm asking them the same type of question. They're like, it's not, I can't really remember that far back. And a lot of them didn't even realize how popular their shows were until after COVID or while COVID was going on and everybody started to rewatch anime and stuff like that. And they were like, now I just recently started going to cons. And to me, that surprises me because I'm like, wow, I watched anime this whole time. I would think, but for you guys, it's the job. And that's one thing I've had to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love the job, and I love that there's fans, and I love that there's people that watch it. But to ask me what happened in this particular episode, that's like me asking you, what'd you have for breakfast yesterday?
Or 20 years ago. Do you remember when you had breakfast on that Wednesday? Yeah.
It's like that.
Well, my next question I want to ask you is I want to talk about another one of your popular characters is Zatch Bell and the Zatch Bell series.
Yeah.
How long did it kind of take you to kind of get the voice for that character?
Well, Jeff Nimoy was the voice director, and it was an anime, so he kind of knew what I sounded like. I think did Fletcher cast that? I don't know who cast that, but it was it's kind of a dance, and I wanted to make sure that the voice for Zatch didn't hurt my throat, didn't hurt my vocal cords. So again, I don't know how long it took us to settle into it, but we had a lot of fun recording it because it's a pretty nutty cartoon. It reminds me of, I have a new cartoon out on Netflix called Rising Impact. It's a little boy golfer.
Yep.
Well, I'm Gawain. I'm the golfer. I'm the little boy in that. And he reminds me of Zatch Bell in that he becomes this little crazy mad character, and then he becomes his little boy normal golfer. But then when he gets upset, he becomes this little crazy thing. And that's kind of how Zatch was, when he wanted some tuna fish or something. So it's more with Zatch, I kind of found myself in his character, and all my characters sound exactly the same to me. I mean, I know they don't because I get cast as a lot of different characters, but I can always tell it's me. But well, it was fun.
I think that's a true mark of a great voice actor when they're able to really use their regular voice for multiple different characters and it still works. Because if I can never remember the name when I need to say it on the spot, but it's basically the voice actor for Sasuke and Batman. That's the same person, and if you hear them talk, it's the same voice, but in the character, he plays them so good that you can't really tell. Like I find that to be amazing.
Yeah, we just fall into our characters and stay there.
So, Zatch Bell is an anime. Jimmy Neutron is a cartoon. So, what is the main difference in recording for them?
They're both cartoons. One is prelay, which means we record the voice first. We prelay the voice.
Okay.
Anime, it's made elsewhere, and the cartoon comes over here and we dub it. So the main difference is prelay cartoons, you pay more. There's a lot more freedom in improving the line. You don't have to stick to a time. Like the anime, there's lip flaps, and you have to match the lip flaps. And so, if she says, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" That's 4 lip flaps. That's all you got. Whereas if it's a prelay like Jimmy Neutron, you can say, "What? Come on! What do you mean? Gosh!" You
Oh,
all
okay.
that stuff, and then it goes to the animator, and the animator can have fun animating.
Okay, so basically doing a cartoon, it gives you more freedom, while anime is more limited by the lip flaps and stuff like that.
Exactly. Now, with the improvements made with Pro Tools, I know the engineers can do a lot with whatever anime I am dubbing. They can compress it, they can make it longer. They can't really change the animation, but there's a lot more they can do with it now than they could back when we did Zatch Bell and I had to match it on the first try or you're done. Now, when I get through a Pokemon, I'll give them a few takes and they'll massage it until it works. So I have less work to do.
So basically the advancement of technology, you gotten to see that process too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. For my next question, I want to ask, if you weren't doing acting, I guess you might be doing singing, but if you weren't doing acting or singing, what would you be doing?
Well, I did tell you I was a pre-med. I was ready to go to med school. And so I would have loved to have done that, to be a doctor, but I think I always had the bug in me to sing. So I'd probably just have pursued music and songwriting. I'm still songwriting. I had a song placed on the Rookie last year. I wrote a song for a couple songs for a series on YouTube. And
when you say the Rookie, you mean the TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Applaud.
Yeah. So I would probably do more of that, more sync placement, more to monetize my music. Yeah.
Wow. Doing some research, I'm not sure if this is correct, but it might be correct. It says you did stunt double work for the movie Free Willy.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up and get you this picture. I'm a scuba diver. I've been scuba diving since 1983, and I was doing on camera and whatever acting I could here in Los Angeles when I first moved back. And one of my friends said, they're looking for someone to body double this boy, but they need a tiny scuba diver to match the size of the 12-year-old boy. Well, I had already done a bunch of jobs the size of a 12-year-old boy in stand-in work and other things. I did a TV show with Jim Varney where I played a boy clown. So my body is the size of a 12-year-old boy. It still is. And I'm a scuba diver. So they had interviewed different men who were short, but they were kind of burly. So I went into Warner Brothers and they said, good, you'll take the job. And I went down to Mexico City and I spent 7 weeks on the back.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would never do the job again because I don't believe in whales in captivity. I think it's a horrible thing to put mammals in the tank in any kind of captivity unless, there's no other way around it. If they're injured or if they have to rehab, then okay. But I wouldn't do it again. And they eventually freed Willy, or Keiko the whale. He got back to Iceland where he passed. He died in the ocean. But it was a really fun job. And I would fly back to Los Angeles. I was recording with Howie Mandel at that time called Bobby's World. So I flew back to record Bobby's World a couple times, of course, because we couldn't do virtual recording that long ago. In fact, I had lunch with Jason Richter, the boy who played the boy, Jason. Really, we had lunch a few months ago. But that was a very, very cool job. Yeah, it's weird, right?
Do you still do any stunt devil work, or did you do any after that, or?
Nope. That was, I do a lot of scuba diving, and wherever I travel, I try to get in scuba diving as long as it's warm. I don't like cold water. I don't like to wear a wetsuit.
So you still do it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I've always been afraid.
Well, the thing is, if you can't see what's under the water, yeah, I'd be afraid. But when you're scuba diving, you're down under the water and you can see. You know, it's like walking into a store. You're like, oh, I'm not afraid of this. It's like going into the haunted mansion and someone turns the lights on and turns the, or you know, to a haunted house. They turn the lights on and you see what's going on behind the scenes and you're like, that's a fish. That's a reef. That's me. I'm fine with my equipment. I'm down here breathing. It's beautiful. It sounds like Darth Vader. It's wonderful scuba diving. And I've always been a swimmer because I grew up in the desert. And that's all there was to do was swim. And I still swim every day. And whenever we're somewhere warm, we go to Barbados a lot. We love that. We're going to Bali. I love scuba diving.
Nice. See, me personally, I've always just had that fear because I don't know how far you go down, but what you might see down there in that water. You know what I mean? And you're like, well, are these fish? You know what I mean? But
well, for each area of the world, there are different creatures. But on the reefs in warm water, which is where I like to go, it's usually the same things. They're very colorful fish. There's a lot of eels poking their heads up, sometimes an octopus, sometimes a big fish. Once in a great while, you'll see a shark, but they don't want anything to do with you. They swim off, and they're in open water. I've seen seals in California, but I'm not diving California anymore. It's too cold. So, you know, once you're there, then it's amazing. You know, you've seen TV shows where they show you what's under the water, and that's what it's like. It's not scary. It's like it is a lot of equipment. It is a lot of stuff to learn. But so is snow skiing. So is using an iPhone. You know, you just learn it.
Well, my next question I want to ask you, after doing some research, I learned that your grandparents were Holocaust survivors. I wanted to ask, has that influenced your storytelling in any way or your life?
My grandfather and grandmother's parents, brothers and sisters, a lot of them died in the Holocaust. My grandmother came over here when she was a young woman, and then World War II started, so she couldn't go home. The same with my grandfather. He came over here before World War II started, but couldn't go home again. So they had their children, my dad, here. Of course, it influences how I feel about any group of people being targeted.
Yeah, I can understand.
Jews, Mexicans, blacks, anyone. We are all people, and if you peel away our skin, our brains all look the same. We think. We are thinking human beings. Has nothing to do with
anything,
the religion or the color of your skin. So I feel for all people that are persecuted against. And I know that it's not just the Jews, it's a lot of different people. So, but it hurts, you know, to see anybody. And when I go back to Israel and visit, you know, with cousins I know I have, and we'll never really know what happened, the horror that their parents went through. But it was horror, and it was all led by a crazy person. And as we all know, there are crazy people in power, and they do things that don't make any sense.
And they say we learn history so we don't repeat it, but it seems like we're still repeating some of this stuff. So I don't know. I just hope people learn to just treat people the way you want to be treated, because that's the only thing I feel like you should know.
Right, right with you, Raysean.
We're winding down to our last two questions.
Okay.
For my next question, I want to ask you is there anyone you will want to shout out for being a good support system for you over the years and has helped you get to this point?
Well, the person that told me to get into voiceover is there's an actor named Scotty Manville. He's on Teen Titans.
Oh, okay.
Scotty, I was standing in for Scotty Manville when he was 10 years old doing a movie called Ernest Goes to Camp. And that's where I met Scotty. And his mother, Dottie, we were in the forest. They were filming in the forest. She said, Debbie, you should go into voiceover. She's the one who told me. So Scotty, and then when I did move to LA, I mean, I continue working with Scotty to this day.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, so his mom, Dottie, thanks again. And of course, Ginny McSwain, who directed me in so many cartoons, and Marcia Goodman and Sue Blue, and Jeff Danis, my first agent. There's a lot of people who helped. Anyone who cast me, thank you. Mike Price for F is for Family. There's so many. How could I even pick one? And then my husband and my family.
For sure. I'm glad you brought up F is for Family. My main question is, have you ever gotten the chance to actually meet Bill Burr?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, okay.
we recorded all together. Look what my step daughter made me. This D is for Debbie that looks like F is for Family. It's my favorite mug.
So
We were all in the studio together, so I've worked with Bill.
So how is it going from like a kid's cartoon to more of an adult cartoon? Does that give you more freedom to kind of be a little bit more of yourself, or?
I think no, it was a lot more fun to improvise, and of course we could throw in a lot of cuss words and F-bombs because it was Netflix, so that was really fun. And when you're on a Netflix show that's a streaming show, they get you for one price for as many voices as they want. Whereas on a Nickelodeon show, they get you for 2 voices and a 3rd voice for a bump. So this particular show, F is for Family, they were able to use me up. So I got 7 characters on that show.
Oh, I noticed that. So I thought you were. Oh, that's interesting. So they could give you one flat rate, and you can do as many. They can have you do as many characters as they want you to do.
Yeah. And like I said, voiceover is a business, and
Okay.
model has worked really well. So there's a lot of Netflix shows like that. And F is for Family is another one of those magic shows with just an amazing cast, amazing writers.
Great story.
You know, it was during COVID. We lost 2 writers out of 10 to COVID. They passed from COVID. It was awful.
Ooh, that's bad.
I know, rest their souls. It was really bad. They did have a great team of writers, and I thought the storyline was great, and it was fun working with Bill and watching him learn the art of voice acting, and he got it down, and he did a great job. I still back and forth with him on email sometimes, and
He's one of my favorite comedians. He's amazing.
Yeah, they were all just so great. Everybody on that show, it was fun.
And for my last question, I want to ask you, do you have any ambitions or goals that you still have yet to fulfill in voice acting?
In voice acting, yes, I want Jimmy Neutron to come back.
I'm with you.
In my YouTube channel, that you're going to put the logo up, Debi Derryberry Kids. It's not my Debi Derryberry official YouTube. It's Debi Derryberry Kids. I really want it to get funneled down into the YouTube Kids glory place where I get to be on YouTube Kids. I have so many kids songs, and they are all animated now. Well, they're almost all animated, and they're on my channel. I would appreciate anybody going to Debi Derryberry Kids and watching these videos. So I'm still working at that, and I'm still doing conventions. So I'm living my best life. I'm doing what I want to do, and it's great. I have a few more things to share with you. I'm also the voice of Draculaura from Monster High. We didn't talk about her, but she is a huge part of my life and conventions. People love her. And I did tell you that my book's available on Amazon. I'm just doing the Debbie promotion show here. And I do have a lot of pop figures when I'm at conventions. I was in Toy Story 1, the voice of the aliens.
Yes.
Pick me, the color.
Yeah, that's a fun one. And I've been Crash Bandicoots, the voice of Coco Bandicoots for a lot of those
Okay.
games. And I'm in Sailor Moon and the voice of Diana, the cute little cat, the daughter of Luna and Artemis. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And YouTube Kids, please put me on you. Debi Derryberry Kids is taking pretty much all my time right now and traveling, and my band Honey Pig. I'm doing everything I love. And I hope all of you out there are doing what you love to do. Even if you're at a job you don't love, when you're off work, go do what you want to do. And if you're not sure what that is, look at yourself and see what you're doing in your spare time. And that is what you want to do. Because that's your go-to. Like, what do you love to do? I don't know. Well, what'd you do on Saturday? I went hiking. Then you love to hike. Yes. So start a hiking club, start doing tours, or, there's a way to make money doing what you love, whatever it is.
Okay. So you're basically leaving out with basically you guys need to go out and find you a passion. Eh?
Well, sometimes you have to look for it. Sometimes we know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who don't know what their passion is. So try a bunch of different things, I was lucky enough to find my passion. I always loved to sing. That was always it. So harmonies are my passion.
I'm glad you were able to find your passion and been able to live it so far.
Thank you so much, Raysean. It's been a lovely interview. It's nice to meet you.
And with that, we end today's episode. I want to thank my guests for coming on and chatting it up with me. I had a lot of fun and learned so much more about the industry of voice acting, and hopefully you listeners did too. Before we close, I just want to allow my guest the opportunity to plug herself, basically tell everybody where they can find you.
Mm-hmm. You can find me on TikTok and hopefully you can put this on the screen, at Debi Derryberry, which is kind of hard to spell. I guess you can see it in the bottom of my name there. My Insta is at Debi Derryberry. My YouTube is Debi Derryberry for the official, but the one I want you to go to is Debi Derryberry Kids. Watch my new show on Netflix, Rising Impact, and like all my videos on YouTube Kids. I love you guys, and I love all my fans. It's just so great to be in this position where I have fans and I can do what I love. So thank you.
Oh, it's amazing. And like every other interview, I'll have all her links and stuff below. So if you guys want to reach out to her and say you like the interview, or if you want to have any questions about voice acting, all the links will be below. And with that, I just want to say peace.